Good morning, folks. Aaron Dorr here with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. I know it's Friday morning, but before it gets to be Friday night, wanted to give you guys a really critical update on this new ATF nominee we're about to see take place in Washington, D.C. I'm going to pause here for a moment, let the crowd build up. Guys, tell me where you're watching from. Your comments are seen by everybody. Help the video be seen by more people. So once the crowd builds up here, we're going to begin today's broadcast. I'm checking my phone. Facebook has slowed out the way they roll out these videos once we go live. I'm going to pause here for just a little moment while the video gets out there. If you guys, as you hop on, give me a sound check, a mic check. Tell me where you're watching from, and we're going to begin this important video about the new ATF director that Joe Biden is about to announce in Washington, D.C. So, guys, let me know where you're watching from. Post your location in the comment section. Someone give me a mic check, and we will begin to broadcast this video today. I mean, one of the most exciting things to me last year in Washington, D.C., besides stopping all of Biden's congressional gun control agenda, was helping to boot stomp his nominee to run the ATF, David Chipman. You guys were all involved in that fight. I mean, the guy had a face that you just wanted to punch. I mean, the guy had a jaw you just wanted to give an uppercut to. A raging tyrant who hated gun owners. And because of that, gun owners shut his nomination down in the U.S. Senate. And so Joe Biden's been that knocked him back. And for the last 4 or 5 months now, his team has been trying to find a replacement to run the ATF. Right now, it has a temporary or interim director. And of course, the ATF, it should be just shut down. The entire thing is a disgrace. It is a scandal-ridden disaster. It should be shut down and disbanded. That's my take on it. If you guys agree, let me know in the comment section. But they're not going to do that. And so Joe Biden is about to nominate Steve Dettelbach as the new nominee to run the ATF. We got a photograph here. This guy is being chosen for a very specific reason because he has every bit the gun-grabbing maniac that David Chipman was, but he looks like a big old dumb geek who never had a girlfriend in high school. Here's his photograph. Now, of course, we all know Kamala. She's everybody's girlfriend, right? But here's Steve Dettelbach, and he has that big, dumb, goofy grin. And what they're doing here is they're trying to pick a guy like Dettelbach who doesn't come across as nefarious, as ominous, as much of a jackass, frankly, as David Chipman did. But here's the deal. We know a lot about Dettelbach. And this guy is a raging anti-gunner, just as bad as Chipman ever was. He's a former U.S. attorney for this guy. Under the Obama administration, Dettelbach was a U.S. attorney for 8 years, and so his views on guns were very well known during that time. But then after Obama got out, Dettelbach ran for attorney general in Ohio. And so he spent a year on the campaign trail, and we learned an awful lot about where he stands when it comes to gun rights. Number one, we absolutely know Dettelbach wants to have a complete ban on our ability to buy an AR-15 or similar firearms. Absolute opposed to any self-defense firearms like the AR-15. He wants those to be a felony for you and I to buy. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. But he also is a huge proponent of a national gun registry. This is, of course, a big agenda item for the Biden administration. They want a registry of every firearms transaction in the state. And then, of course, they're going to use that at some point down the road to begin firearm confiscation. And Dettelbach believes in this, that you should have every gun you own in a federal registry. Any firearm you transfer should only be done after you've added that firearm to a federal registry. So if you want to give a gun to your grandson, if you do it without getting government permission, according to Dettelbach, you would be a criminal. These guys are animals. They're absolute anti-gun pieces of trash who need to be shut down. But he also, here's another thing, he also supports the idea of putting more misdemeanors into the NICS prohibited persons database. So you have right now the NICS system, which is the list of those who cannot buy firearms. And the line traditionally has been a felony conviction. With a felony conviction, you cannot own firearms. What the left has wanted to do for a very long time now is take that threshold and lower it down to misdemeanors, because they know what we all know. Once you crack that line, once we open up Pandora's box like that, you're going to see millions of gun owners who can legally own firearms today. You're going to see them be banned, because they're added to the NICS system now. That is their goal, to constantly create new systems and new ways where you and I lose our gun rights for a lifetime. And that's what he wants to do as ATF director. But Dettelbach also supports, no shocker, red flag gun seizures. He wouldn't use that terminology as much. What he said on the campaign trail is that anybody who's had mental health struggles should not have access to firearms. Now, that might sound very normal if you're a radical left-leaning gun-grabbing nut job, but to you and I, we know what that means. It's already against the law for someone who's been adjudicated defective to own firearms. The left wants that to be the bare minimum. Their goal now is to open up the floodgates and make it so that anybody who has any mental health issues of any kind can never own a firearm, whether or not they've been adjudicated defective. Their goal is to have mental health staffers, whatever that means, doctors, nurses, maybe even teachers, be able to talk to you and say, you know what? I'm going to pick a name here. Chris in KC. Chris is just not right. Something's wrong with Chris right now. We think he's having some mental health difficulties, and we're just going to go into the NICS database and punch in his name and hit enter and screw over his life forever. That's what Dettelbach wants. Anybody who ever saw somebody for counseling, for treatment, for any kind of a voluntary interaction with a counselor would be in this prohibited persons database. These people are nut jobs, complete nut jobs. And that's why he's such good friends. Where's that photograph? With this guy, Eric Holder, the biggest disgrace we have ever had as Attorney General. I hate to say it, he's even worse than Merrick Garland. And we all know how terrible Merrick Garland is, because it was Holder who armed the Mexican drug cartels and got American service members and got Brian Terry murdered with those firearms. That's the kind of crowd Dettelbach hangs out with. That's the kind of person that he is. And that's why it's critical that you guys take action. There's a link right here. Tell Blunt and Holly to oppose this guy's nomination for ATF director. You know, it kind of depends on the day when it comes to Senator Blunt. Sometimes he's a yes vote, sometimes he's a no vote, good vote, bad vote. He was a no vote on Ketanji Brown yesterday. That's in his credit. He was a no vote on David Chipman when that happened last fall, but he was a yes vote on the VAWA stuff, the misdemeanor style gun control that happened a month ago in Washington, D.C. And he's basically a very, very, very fair weather friend at best. And so both of them need to hear from you guys right away. Take a moment, hit that link we prepared for you. It goes right to these senators and tells them you want them to vote no on Steve Dettelbach as ATF director. He has not been officially nominated yet, but all the news in D.C., all of our sources tell us it's going to happen very soon. So we're getting ahead of this right now. Get out there early and send your message right away. There is a comment here I wanted to answer. Aaron Etheridge says felons don't lose his right to self-defense, so that law is also unconstitutional. It is a right. It shall not be infringed. Aaron, we agree with you when it comes to many different types of felony convictions should not make someone lose their gun rights for a lifetime. If a single mom, steals milk from the grocery store enough times that she becomes a felon, we don't believe that person loses a right to self-defense either. Violent criminals, violent felonies, they should be executed, in my opinion, based on what type of crime that it was: murder, rape, kidnapping, those kind of crimes, biblically, those people would be executed. So that's kind of that'd be a done deal. But no, when it comes to non-violent felony convictions, I don't believe somebody who, writes bad checks, and gets a felony conviction, that person should not lose their right of self-defense for the rest of their lives either. So we are with you on that comment, Aaron. The gun rights community, I believe, is rapidly heading that direction. We're not there yet. We should be there, but we're not there yet. But no, that definitely is a topic that we need to address with legislation at the right time, for sure. So, guys, that's what we have right now. Steve Dettelbach, again, here's that big goofy grin. He's the guy who had no girlfriend in high school with that big dumb look, and that is exactly why he is about to be nominated as the ATF director. Biden's team hopes that everybody looks at him and says, he's no threat, folks. He's a real threat to our gun rights. That's why you've got to take action right away. Tell Blunt and Holly, under no circumstances can you vote yes on Dettelbach as ATF director. Guys, more to come. Share our video. Donate today. Go to joinmofc.com and join as a member today, and we'll keep you guys informed. Take care. Thanks.